I'm in the middle of a video series looking at Magnus Carlsen's top 10 best finishes. In the last video I left you with this position. Carlsen a pawn up in a rook and pawn endgame. This pawn one square from queening, but how on earth do you get the rook to move and queen the pawn? At the moment the rook in a strong position behind that passed pawn, and the king can't approach the pawn to cover it, it just gets checked away. Carlsen found a wonderful tactical solution. Of course, we've seen many endgames, many beautiful endgames from Carlsen, but this one I've always liked, but just because of the tactic here. He played f4. Well, black took this pawn, and this looks ridiculous for white to give black this passed pawn, but look what happens. Rook g8, covering these squares, and if rook takes pawn, then e5 is checkmate. Absolutely superb, a mating net out of the blue. So black had to give up the rook. He played rook b6 check. King comes to c7 attacking the rook, and of course wants to play queen as well, so black gave up the rook. Now, a rook up, but suddenly black has this passed pawn. Not so simple. Hracek pushed with f3. And now watch what happens. The king came back. If the pawn pushes on again, then white plays king d6, and once again it's the same mating net. So you can allow black to queen and it's checkmate. Absolutely wonderful. So in this position, after king c6, black had to play king e5. Now a check. The king comes forward, and king d5. Now again, this looks slightly odd, but in fact this is just completely winning for white, because if f2, then the rook comes behind here, and if the pawn queens, then the rook takes the pawn and wins the queen with a skewer. So f6, and now anyway rook f8, you win the pawn, and that is that. An absolutely beautiful finish. I should also mention that if king g5, then of course e5, and you're going to win this pawn. Just a tremendous move. f4. Very hard to visualize that one. Okay, let me show you your next puzzle position. This was a game played in the European Team Championship between Iceland and Norway. So Hannes Stefansson playing for Iceland against Magnus Carlsen. Carlsen playing black. And it's a typical Slav position where black hopes to break out with either c5 or e5. Well, in this case, c5 isn't possible, so Carlsen breaks out with e5. There are pros and cons to that move. One of the disadvantages is that it opens up the bishop's diagonal. Well, let's see what happens. So Carlsen creates an isolated pawn and now moves the rook across to put some pressure here. The knight spins to f8, allowing the bishop to come into the game. So that blunts out the bishop on c4. But here, white still has really good development. Very nicely coordinated pieces. And the knight looks quite menacing on e5. Now Carlsen played queen f5 here. And this is where the tactics started. Stefansson played knight takes pawn on f7. Now clearly if queen takes, then the knight is hanging here. Carlsen took with the king. And now white played rook e3, threatening, among other things, rook f3. So here's the problem. How should you get out of black's difficulties here? Black to play, what did Carlsen do next and why? Nice piece of calculation, this.